Started? Okay. We're excited to get this season started. I think everyone's ready for some football, and I know our team is. They've practiced hard. They've worked hard. They know what's in front of us. It starts with game one and right here in front of our home crowd. So it'll be great to get back in L&N Stadium and play some football this Saturday and have a great day. So I know, this is what all these guys have worked for, and now it's going to start.
Jeff, kind of a multi-layered question with the whole Amari Huggins-Bruce situation. Reports of him leaving South Carolina, but is he back on the team? What's his role going to be with the team? And maybe walk us through the process of him coming back to Louisville.
Well, right now, I probably can just talk about people that are on our roster, so we'll just have to leave it at that for this current moment. Not as of right now.
Jeff, we've heard from the beginning, or from spring until now, about the depth on the defense and on the offensive line. As you're here going into week one, do you have the depth you want? Is it better than it was last year, especially on the two lines?
I definitely think on defense, we've built a lot of depth on the defensive line. Without question, it's our deepest position. We feel like we have numerous capable young men to go in and compete at a high level and play well, and a ton of experience, a ton of production in the past from these guys, either here or where they came from. So, we want that unit to play well and to produce. The offensive line, we did lose Lance Robinson the first practice for the year with a knee injury, unfortunately. So that hit was a little bit of a hit for us because he was going to be if not a starter, sixth or seventh guy in the game. But other than that, we've kept most of the guys healthy for the most part. I think we have more depth than we had last year, and we're hopeful to play, anywhere between 7 and 9 guys if we can in a normal game setting.
Jeff, after the two scrimmages, I think you may have sounded less than thrilled about your performance offensively. Can you put a finger on maybe anything in particular, or can some of that just be just going against your own defense, who kind of understands what you guys are going to do?
In scrimmage situations, you're trying to look at a lot of things, a lot of people. Earlier in the week, our offense played really well in a scrimmage we had on Wednesday and did a good job. That day was not one of our better days. I just think, you're playing in scrimmages, your ones, your twos, and your threes. You're playing a lot of people, and sometimes they may not play their best, and it looks a little worse than you would like to. But with the depth we have on defense, 1 and 2 deep is we think are really good, and then some of the third ones in are pretty good. So I just think that they had their day with us that day, and that can happen at times. I just think you got to learn to snap out of things when things happen. I think as we get playing this season, every experience we have where we have some adversity along the way is good for you, and we want to go through it as much as we can in practice and in scrimmages, and I think we have. So I think that we've learned from it, and we expect both units to play at a high level every time we step on the field.
Jeff, with the way that rosters can change, how much more time do you feel like you're spending on the roster management during the season? And have you considered like a general manager role for strictly that kind of handling those situations?
Well, now that fall practice has started and the season starts, you're rolling with what you have, and we feel good about our team, our roster here, and the progress we made. I think our coaches, our recruiting department, our off the field coaches, we spend a whole lot of time on recruiting the next year's prospects in high school, to being up to speed on, keeping our ears open along the way this season to what could be happening when the season's over, and making sure we're studying every element of football teams and what can happen. So I think we have the people here in the roles that they're really good at it, and we feel comfortable. We got good leadership from our recruiting department to our coaches who are heavily involved in recruiting, and I think we've been on top of it. And we feel like our plan is good, and We're going to worry about the season and winning football games and competing as well as we can while we, keep our ears open and study. But, not till the season's over do we really get moving full speed on the next year's roster.
Chris Barkley called the running back room kind of improvement mode because you got two guys playing in the NFL right now. I'm curious how that room has progressed, and is Isaac continuing to impress, and what's the status of Keywan at this point?
Well, we like our running back room, and yes, it doesn't quite have the experience as maybe we had last year, and we got a lot of production from our running backs. They did a really good job. Our running game was very steady for us and produced and helped our offense move the chains and get some points. But Maurice Turner has played a lot of football for us. He's in really good shape. He's had a really good fall camp. Donald Chaney as the transfer from Miami, who's was a little nicked up early in camp, but he's healthy now. He's got some strength. He's played a lot of football himself. Then you throw in Isaac Brown and Keywan Brown. Those are two young guys we feel good about. Keywan was a little nicked up early in camp with a back. That he's back healthy, and Isaac has been healthy all spring and fall. And he does have some twitch and some speed and some quickness that is hard to coach. That we hope to highlight as much as we can. Even though he's a true freshman. But he's done a great job. He's worked hard. So we feel good about all four of those young men. And even Duke Watson's another young freshman that in time will be a good player.
Hey, Jeff. Robert, after, I believe it was the first scrimmage, you mentioned the lack of playmaking maybe. I don't know if that was specific about the receivers or whomever, but when you consider that Collins out for a little bit, playmaking for the wide receivers, where do you think that has to take a step forward as the season starts? Is it separation with the ball in their hands, combination, or what have you?
Well, Colin was having a great camp and really had shown great strides, and we were going to give him the ball a lot of different ways and put a lot of different packages in for him. So it's unfortunate that he broke his collarbone, but in time he'll be back. But in the meantime, we feel like the other guys will step up. And right now, Ja'Cory Brooks has had a really good camp. I think he's got legitimate speed, playmaking ability. He's been very consistent through camp. Chris Bell needs to continue to play well and show up and make plays and play physical and make the strong catch and get yards. Jaden Thompson now will have to step in and emerge and be a consistent playmaker for us, which I think he can do it. And he'll have more opportunities to do that. And then, after that, we have a lot of young receivers that maybe haven't played as much. Katarius Hicks and Meeks and Jaleel McClain, but they need to step up. So with that, I think we have quite a few veterans at tight end that play a lot of football, and even though some of them are new pieces, three of them, they all have different really good traits and characteristics they bring to the table, and we got to figure out a way to utilize all those tight ends at what they do well.
Austin Peay, new coach, 9-3 last year. Probably had a lot of guys transfer out as they do at that level. Are they a mystery to you, or how much do you really know about them and how they're going to play?
Well, you are correct. So, Coach Ferris is a new coach, came from UCLA. Before that, had been at Duke for a while. So, yes, you don't know for sure exactly what you're going to see with a new offensive coordinator, new head coach, new defensive coordinator. Now, we've studied the history in the past of the people that are supposedly calling the offense and defense and what they've done in the past. Do we know for sure if that's what they're going to do? No, we do not. So the good thing is we have prepared for a lot. When we go against ourselves, we go against a lot of different looks and things as well. So, you're hopeful that you can just adjust to what you see along the way and have at least maybe an idea. But no, we do not know for sure exactly what we'll see.
I guess kind of going off of that also, too, they only have, I think, 2 starters back from last year. How important will those in-game adjustments be, and kind of depending on that veteran leadership to kind of just know how certain things are going to go?
Well, it'll be important. I think that for us, anytime you face a young team, the quarterback run, the misdirection, the ability to defend, all the nuances of perimeter game and quarterback scrambles and draws and reads and pulls and all those things. We prepared heavily for that, and that can always get you because of the ability to count the quarterback in the action. But we prepared heavy for that. I know that, and so I think we should be in pretty good shape there. And sometimes when you're going against some things you don't see, you may have to be a little more simple and under control at the beginning before you start to crank it up. But at the same time, we want to be aggressive, and that's been our style. We want to be calculated with it, but also not give up big plays when that happens. So I do think we have a good plan for that. And on offense, from what we've studied, it'll be some different looks, some odd looks, and where they try to create some havoc and chaos and just do different things. We got to just react accordingly. But I feel confident that we've seen a lot to this point, and both of our offense and defense does a lot. So I think we'll have a general plan and the ability to react quickly, hopefully.
For Tyler, it's one thing to go through camp, but it's another thing to play your first real snap in almost a calendar year. What do you expect out of him after getting that first snap after?
Well, Tyler has had a great camp, and every day he continues to go out there and make plays, and he's got great command of the offense and in the pocket, and he knows how to deliver the ball up the field to our playmakers. And we want him to play well. We want to help him play well, and we want our guys around him to play well, which will help him look even better. So we're very confident going into the game that he's battle tested. He's played a lot of football. He's handled adversity, and he'll do a great job. And does that mean we scored a touchdown? I'd like to hear that a lot if we can. Yeah.
Jeff, you talked about depth on the defensive line and maybe your deepest position. It's also maybe your best player there on that defensive line. How hard is it to get guys to get a rotation, but also to make sure that Ashton and guys that are your better players are out there when you need them and for as much as they need to be?
Well, that's a great question. And Ashton Gelati has had a tremendous camp. He's hard to block. He's a force. We've got other players around him that have really done well. And we've got backups that have done really well at that position on the defensive line. So I think you'll see quite a few play. And, it's important that you keep guys fresh, you keep them healthy, you win football games, you get to the next game where you get as many guys healthy as possible. But you hope to get in the fourth quarter and you have guys fresh as well. And I definitely feel like at that position we should be able to do that. And we will have a plan to play, as many as we can. No matter who we play. But yes, Ashton, our best players, will get more snaps than others, but the other guys will play quite a bit.
Jeff, you mentioned you have a lot of options at tight end, probably more than you had last year. Do you try to split some of those guys out to almost effectively be a receiver sometimes to mix it up a little bit, or how do you separate yourself in that room to get the most consistent playing time, I guess?
Well, we have multiple personnel packages, to get 1, 2, 3 tight ends in the game. Where you put them is sometimes important as well. And yes, there'll be a few things where they're split out. And I just think, other guys are better on the ball. Other guys are better off the ball in what we do. But, we want that position to be a big part of the offense. And it's important that between receiving and catching the ball between the hashes, stretching the field occasionally, and being able to block, they all do a really good job for us. And we feel like between Mark Ribbon, Jamari Johnson, Nate Kariski, Jalil Skinner, Isaiah Cummins, all 5 have played football to a certain degree, and they've had a really good fall camp. And if they know exactly what they're doing, that they can go out there and produce. And we need to make sure that all those guys see the field.
Jeff, I think it's this time of the year when you can finally be done with fall camp and actually prepare for another opponent and hit somebody else besides your own teammate. How much lively does practice become? How much do the juices get flowing for the coaching staff?
Well, I think our guys are ready to play, and we've had a good fall camp, and we've had some ups and downs along the way, which is good. And where certain guys emerge certain days, and the next day, if you don't come ready to play, you don't have a good day. And I think we've stressed to our team that that's how football works. As you look at the 3 main games that were played this past week, and I told them even before this weekend, if you don't come ready to play in college football, you're not going to win. And you had 2 upsets, and the other one should have been an upset. And luckily, SMU hung in there to the end and found a way to win. And it just goes to show you that there's a lot of parity in college football. And if you don't come ready to play and try to play your very best game you step on the field, you're not going to win. And it happened to us last year. We were fortunate to win some close games where we showed the toughness and fortitude to hang in there and get it done. And then there were some days that were not good to us, that we didn't do the small things and we got exposed. So you realize that that's part of college football, and you demand that each player and each unit tries to play their best game to date every time they step on the field, no matter if you've won 3 in a row or lost 3 in a row. And you have that determination to get it done, and your team sticks together the entire game, no matter what the score, and plays to the end. That's your only chance to win. And I think our guys have seen it this first week by watching a few other games, and we've experienced, and you hope that you have the preparation, the toughness to realize that that's what it's going to take every week.
Jeff, you said after that last scrimmage, a little bit more on Isaac Brown, that he's got some Jawar Jordan in him. What exactly kind of traits do you see that are similar to how he played last year? And in a game like this where he could maybe get some extended minutes in week 1, what do you maybe expect out of him to earn some maybe more down the road?
Well, Isaac has great speed. He's got really good quickness. He can shake and break people in the hole very quickly and naturally, and just has that running style that you don't really coach. He's got it, and we just got to put him in the right position to get it done. We got to teach ball security. We got to make sure he knows how to protect when he has to. He's got to be able to understand the nuances of all the different looks he can get. And sometimes with young freshmen, one of the reasons you don't play him as much is because the turnovers that can happen if they really don't understand the importance of you cannot let this ball hit the ground. And he's gotten better throughout the entire camp at doing that, but at the same time game speed's a little bit different. But he definitely just has a lot of natural ability that shows up in practice because he does work hard and he's studied hard, and for a young freshman he's really come a long way, and we expect him to play well every time he gets out there. Okay.